And Paul came to preach not a sugar-coated gospel, not a gospel that just addressed felt needs. He came to preach the biblical gospel, which he says wasn't done with wise words. It wasn't done just to impress people. It was done with the power of God. And you got to be careful of that as the church too. You think about our calling moving forward. If we just become a church that addresses felt needs and we just preach sermons that help you have a happy life and have a wonderful marriage and help you how to parent kids, and we neglect the greater reality of we're sinners separated from God and we need atonement, we need forgiveness of our sin, and that there's no other name under heaven by which men can be saved other than the name of Jesus, and that if we're going to have fellowship with God and forgiveness of sin, then it only comes by putting our faith in Jesus Christ. And that message, that gospel is offensive in this culture. That message is offensive in a culture that says people can do no wrong. We're all about tolerance. Your view is your view, my view is my view. Whatever works for you, works for you. It's all about what you think is moral. I can do what I think is moral. And you bring a message that says there's an absolute standard and there's a true God and he's a holy God, and that when we rebel against him, we have angered him, and that we deserve his wrath, and that the only way to have that wrath diverted from us and for us to have forgiveness is by putting our faith in Jesus Christ. People look at that message and they say, that's ridiculous. That's ludicrous. That's foolishness. And Paul says that in the next couple of verses. We're going to look at that next week. So Paul is basically saying, when I preach the gospel, and I'm not pointing people to myself. I'm not pointing people to my polished rhetoric. I'm pointing people to the power of God, the wisdom of God, Jesus Christ. So baptism is about Jesus. Preaching is about Jesus. Church is about Jesus. So you want unity in your church, put your eyes back on Jesus.